This is so humbling. As a poet, this is like, man. So check this out. So I'm all about energy, right? So I need y'all to repeat after me. Greatness? Greatness. Absolutely not. It's way too many of y'all. It's only one of me. Greatness? Greatness. It's not an option. Not an option. Greatness? Greatness. It's an expectation. It's an expectation. To the guy in Walmart who called his daughter a bitch in front of me. Oh, fuck you. You know, typically I don't meddle in the parenting of one's princess, but the pain in his princess eyes bothered me, you see. The three guys in front of me didn't say anything or do anything. So I only felt compelled to do so. I said to him, hey, yo, bitch, what'd you just say to her? He turned, looked to me with nothing more than confusion in his face. You see, us men need to get back to checking other men on their bullshit, I told you. That life and death is in the power of the tongue. And you, my friend, are asking for a death wish. Because one of the greatest gifts God ever gave me was my daughter. Second in my life, of course. And each time we return home from work, she and I would repeat the most beautiful rituals known to man. A typical conversation between my daughter and I would go something like this. Dad, 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 Dad. Hey, gorgeous. How are you, my tiny terrorist? I say jokingly, arms extended, lifting her to my level, attempting to level the playing field because I refuse to talk down to my daughter. Affirmations. One of the most powerful tools any man has to give to his daughter, I tell her. That there's magic in your melanin, success in your spine, healing in your hips, love on your lips, low-key. You the shit. Defecating on all who seek to oppose you in such magnificent fashion, I tell her. Don't allow them to fool you. Confuse and convolute your history, manipulate you with their music, reducing you to nothing more than a shiny notch on his belt of insecurities. And understand that he who takes your hand inherits the responsibility of your heart. So one time a man should put his hands on you is to wrap his love around you, and as you become older. If he expresses interest in making love to you, allow it to be to your mind before your body, I tell her. That there's magic in your melanin, success in your smile, healing in your hips, love in your lips, and don't you ever allow anyone to tell you anything different. Not even me. Oh. Yeah. This second piece I wrote when I was in college. I call it my arrogant piece. So just a little background. I don't really like doing intros to poems, but I think that this is very important. I was a senior, Mr. Voorhees College down in Denmark, South Carolina, and I went to my president. You know, you got little perks when you got positions. And I said, hey, Dr. Sellers, I want to go to this Mr. HBCU competition. And he looked at me in my face and said, if I pay for you to go, are you going to win? I said, first of all, you ain't paying for anything. The school paid for it. But nonetheless, I said, yes, I'm going to win. And I had no idea how that competition was going to go. But I went with the intent that I was going to win first place. And I did. And I love my speech so much. Thank you. So I love my speech so much that I turned it into a poem. Former U.S. President John F. Kennedy eloquently creates an argument that has served as a catalyst for intellectual and contentious debate. He states that the goal of education is the advancement of knowledge and the dissemination of truth. I agree. The goal of education is truly the advancement of knowledge and the dissemination of truth. However, we as African American men have been lying to ourselves for years. Think back. Since the inception of HBCUs in 1837, we have sought to provide the highest forms of education possible to minorities worldwide, especially black men. But we can see an alarming issue plaguing our black colleges. That issue, the apparent lack of black male presence. HBCUs are truly the cornerstones of African American history and culture. However, the question was asked, are black males truly the catalyst for the survival of these great institutions? I would argue this very point. How can we, as black males, be the catalyst for the survival of these great institutions if we ourselves are increasingly becoming non-existent? A recent study by the Department of Education explicitly states that black men make up 7.9% of 18 to 24-year-olds in America. However, black men only represent 2.8% of undergraduates. In addition, only 29% of black males are graduating in 6 years from HBCUs. Credible scholars argue that this is indeed due to a lack of positive male role models and the absence of the male in the home. Moreover, I contend a different reason. These young men were never taught how to properly utilize their bodies since birth. Here's why. They've never been taught how to stay ahead of the game before they see all the wrong things. They know right from wrong, and they speak all the wrong things out of their mouth, so the devil consistently taps their chin. They bear the weight of the world on their shoulders, designed to keep their back straight, their chest out to stomach the pain. But they waste time on things they don't need, like thighs and legs, draw out the ankles to support them, so they consistently stay defeated. Ladies and gentlemen, our young men are trapped in a world where value systems are based on latest fashions, social trends, and fictitious desire for immediate economic stability. Education seems to no longer be in the forefront of the minds of our youth. A world where young men are surrounded in social media or struggle to solve basic social problems. Can tell you about the new Jordan Gamma Blues, but can't explain scientific gamma rays. Refer to themselves as real gangsters instead of real men. And wonder why the black males are increasingly coming out existent in the halls of these free institutions. As I come to a close, I'm reminded of the sentiments of the late great Dr. Martin Luther King, who once proclaimed that the time is always right to do what's right. And at this point, the right thing to begin doing is telling these young men the truth. A wise man once stated that adversity is the first path to truth. And as a mentor, my duty is to pave the way. My question to you, how many roads have you paved? This last piece, I wrote, wow, it took a lot out of me to write this piece. That's why I always give it up for people who, bare their souls when they get on stage, because it takes a lot of us not to just perform it, but to also write it. And anytime that I perform, I want to make sure that you're receiving the exact emotion, if not better, than when I actually wrote it. So I wrote this in 2019, and I kind of wanted to bring it back for Black History Month. It's called Black Rights. My name is William, and as we speak, more than 10 plus Hawthorne County police officers have their weapons pointed in my direction, awaiting the opportunity to turn this corner into my coffin. Isn't it ironic? The excuses they use to execute us, and if not for Sky, that's probably where I would be right now. Do you know your rights, suspect? My name is William, not suspect. But it seems as though that they have the right to remain violent, because anything we say or may suddenly do could potentially have us killed. We have the right to an attorney who will assume our guilt long before hearing our side of the story, but it makes sense. Because a system cannot fail those of us that are built to protect, mighty convenient. How at this very moment, racist bigots are more concerned with the color of a cartoon character than migrant children in overcrowded concentration camps, sporting aluminum blankets in inhumane conditions, being denied access to basic human necessities, like soap, running water, adequate food to eat, and toothpaste. Not my aerial is starting to sound a lot like not my swimming pool, not my public school, not my water fountain. Don't tell me not to yell, because that's the only time things begin to change. I find it oddly distasteful that we expect far more from our comedians than we do from our congressmen, more from our pop stars than we do from our politicians and our president. And he says we're making America great again. Well, peep this. As we speak, the United States of America currently ranks 38th in math, 27th in healthcare and education, 26th in life expectancy, and 24th in science and reading. We lead the world in only 4 major categories. 1, prisoners locked up per capita. 2, infant mortality. 3, the number of adults who believe that angels are real. 4, defense budget spending, where we spend more than 26 countries combined, 25 of whom are our allies. So the next time someone yells from their racist and crusted lips that we're making America great again, you ask them, which part?